Welcome back. This is, as always, my favorite time of the year when we hand out the prize for our International Problem Solving Contest with APL. So the first speaker is Brian, who will tell us how the mechanics of the contest went this year.
Thank you, Gitta. Okay, so 2017. This looks a lot like slides from the past several years. Actually, it's our 9th year of running the APL problem-solving competition. And it's our 5th year working with SCORE. And they host the site where people go out to fill out the phase 1 and phase 2 problems. And first I want to thank our sponsors. APL Italiana, Fiserv, and SimCorp have basically been sponsors from day one, and we couldn't run this competition without their support, and we thank you all very, very much. And we have a few anonymous sponsors as well, and you know who you are, and we thank you as well. I want to thank the problem contributors this year. We had, actually, many years I wind up writing a lot of the phase 2 problems, and this year I didn't write. I helped author some of them, but I didn't actually come up with the problems. They were submitted to me by a number of people. So I want to thank Paul Grosvenor and Optima for the healthcare problem set, and Dr. Charles Brenner for a couple of the problems in the math and statistics area, and then Zach for problems that he submitted for math and statistics and the computational geometry. And as you've probably heard, Zach was one of our winners last year, so the competition continues to bear fruit. I also want to thank our judges. Adam and Michael did a tremendous job in helping judge the entries, and Adam had a great example of, I guess the phrase is eating your own dog food, which is, using your own product to help you get your work done. And so Adam had created a spreadsheet, a tool to analyze all of the phase 1 entries and populate an Excel spreadsheet with color coding and all sorts of amazing things. And so it's a case where we're actually able to use our own tools to do some pretty neat stuff. And then finally, I want to say a special thank you to Fiona. She's done a tremendous job of keeping all the various pieces of the competition in touch with one another, whether it's interfacing with SCORE or nudging them or kicking me to get the problem descriptions done. But she's done a terrific job, and the competition wouldn't have come off as well as it did had it not been for Fiona's efforts. So thank you. So this year, as in the past few years, we've had 2 phases, which is phase 1 is 10 simple one-liner type of problems, and then in phase 2 we had 3 areas of concentration: healthcare, math and statistics, and computational geometry. And the participation was up this year, which was kind of neat. So we had 59 phase 1 submissions from students, from 42 last year, and then 42 non-student submissions, which was also pretty impressive. So we had 111 entries to judge there. And then phase 2, we had 18 student submissions, a 20% rise from last year, and 6 non-student submissions. And the prizes, we gave out 10 $100 prizes for phase 1 for the top phase 1 solutions. And in phase 2, we had first, second, and third prizes, and plus 200 prizes for 5 competitors who weren't in the top 3. So where did people come from? And this was kind of interesting. India had the greatest number of submissions by a lot. Now, proportionally by population, they have the greater number of people by a lot, so maybe that makes sense. I was interested to see 7 entries from Argentina, but only so many countries only had 1 entry, and so we need to we need to work more with Burundi and Cameroon, but it's interesting. We are really getting entrants from all around the world. I'm curious to find out how some of these people learn of the competition. Hopefully it's from the efforts of SCORE and their network. So I try and share some impressions from the competitors. We asked them when they submit for phase 2 to give us, their reaction to the competition, and any suggestions for how we could make it better. So I'm going to kind of scroll through these, give you a chance to read them. And I like this, it helped me renew my programming's way of thinking. So this year's questions were very interesting, enjoyed solving every bit of it. This is my first proper experience with such an abstract language, and was surprisingly much more challenging than I expected. So here's somebody that really enjoyed participating in the programming contest and wants to do it again next year. And so that's one of the things that I wanted to try and emphasize, is that when we design the problems, we try and pick problems that are interesting, but also highlight some of the power of APL. And so a lot of the students have come to learn about APL through the competition, which was kind of cool. I mean, that's how we got Joel Huff and several others. This is the most impressive one, though. From an 11-year-old who was the first runner-up in this year's competition. So, in about 6 or 7 years, you people who are looking for APLers, there are child labor laws, so you can't have them quite yet. So, help. Please contribute, okay? Suggest or submit candidate problems. Again, this year's problems came entirely from other contributors, and I thank you very much for that. So please don't stop now. And domain specific is great. One of the nice things about the problem set that we got from Optima is it had to do with healthcare. I know nothing about healthcare other than I need it. So we were able to get some industry and some practical real-life problems from Optima, and that was terrific. The other thing is help promote the competition. Spread the word, talk to your local universities and schools, and we have materials that you can print off from SCORE, assuming that we're using SCORE again next year, that you'll be able to distribute to your local schools. So please, if you're interested in doing that, let us know, and we'll make sure you get those materials when they're available. So, and the winners are, well, the non-student winner is Mike Powell for the second year in a row, and he's a former IPSA employee. And the runners-up, the second runner-up was Zach Taylor from Maryville High School. So, he's a little bit older, he's 16. And the first runner-up, as I said, was Douglas Patz, an 11-year-old. And then the grand prize, at this point I'd like to turn the microphone over to, or the stage over to Carlo Alberto Spinicci, the founder of APL Italiana, to present this year's grand prize.
Thanks. Oh, in a very special formal edition. Okay, I suppose that now I am supposed to be able, with my infamous bad English, to be able to convey a lot of strong emotions that a moment as this one deserves. As, for instance, how proud I am that I have been assigned the privilege to present to you all the winner of the first prize for this year, international problem-solving contest in APL, or the commitment of the sponsors, all of them, including but not only all the different versions of SimCorp we have around those days, the big and the small, the worldwide and the Italiana, that have been both sponsor of this contest from the very, very beginning. Or the joy to meet with young people that just discovered the APL and will say to us all about what was funny and what was painful in this experience, but also the thirst of the old vampire who is dreaming to inject this fresh blood in our businesses. Because this is part of the game. This year, I cannot forget that this specific man is coming from that specific region. That teached at least to the whole Western world the art of thinking. And he also is a student in physics. Physics is beautiful. APL is beautiful. They should work well together, I think. I am a bit sinful about physics because I spent a big chunk of my life stealing, promising young researchers from physics and putting them to work with general ledger, finance. Anyway, so there are many other beautiful things I would be able to say if I were able to say, but I'm not, so I stop here. Just believe me, I'm really excited to congratulate with this year winner of the contest. Say again your name.
Kostas Blekos.
Kostas Blekos. I think it's not so difficult to say, at least for Kostas Blekos. I said that perfectly. This way. Thank you very much.